Lamar. Look a island thing, yeah. Tonight's the night where everybody's feeling it. The vibe is right, the DJ's really turning it. So hold on tight, turbulence is going in. What makes you high? The education's pouring in. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. Come, let's get closer. Chemistry class ain't over. Nitric oxide lover, our blood flow discovered. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. So why for me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me. So why for me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me. Curse got me on a mission, trying to give you what you've been missing. Natural body heat got us gripping to the beat, and like a volcano, please erupt on me. Temperature is rising, come break the fever, baby. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. Come, let's get closer. Chemistry class ain't over. Nitric oxide lover, our blood flow discovered. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. So why for me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me. So why for me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me, make me feel it on me. From the time I sip on you, nobody else even matter. When me start dance with you, it look like the body get fatter. Let's stop with the chatter. Come set the clock, tick tock. 6:30, the gala get dirty. Time for clean it up. Call me rubber dub, grab every part of your body, me can't get up. Every time me get in there, me feel like me have to live in there. With body a link, comprende. Top a top, y'all me no blink in there. Eyes locked on you and vibes are gone. We in a tune every piece of the song. Me not let go of the vibes and the sound. Me have to set loose 12 rounds. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. Come, let's get closer. Chemistry class ain't over. Nitric oxide lover, our blood flow discovered. I need to hold ya, grip on that body and cuff ya. So why for me? So why for me? So why for me? So why for me? Yeah. Oh.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? First off, as you guys can see here, music video. Make sure you guys go to the channel. It's right here for your official Lamar page. Make sure you guys go on over there, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your bells, notification. This is a former Miami Hurricane player right here. Does music. I've listened to a couple of his songs, more on the R&B side. So when you guys get a chance, go check him out. It's a good listen, I promise you. All right. So as I told you guys throughout the week, I will be having on a former Miami Hurricane, come on in, chop it up with us for a few or whatever. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get my guy on here. All right. What's going on with you, boss? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
All right. Can't complain. All right. So first and foremost, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
But my name is Dave Howell. I'm a former Cane. Came into the class in 2003. Used to play defensive tackle, even offensive tackle as well, offensive guard, wherever they needed me at the moment. So, just glad to be on here. Big fan of this channel. Make sure y'all continue to follow my guy.
All right. So 2003, you came into the Hurricanes. Now, what was that experience like for you?
It was surreal. Coming from high school, I played ball in Palm Beach County. Played at Palm Beach Lakes High School as well as Royal Palm Beach High.
The
I ended up,
Rams and
oh
the
yeah,
Gators, right?
now they the Wildcats, the Royal Palm
Wow.
Wildcat.
Okay.
I, so I came in as leaving out of Palm Beach County. I was the number one player in Palm Beach County. Going into my year at 2003 with the University of Miami, you seeing the likes of Vince Wilfork, Santonio Thomas, you know, Sean Taylor, Jonathan Vilma, DJ Williams, Frank Gore. I can go on and on. Kellen Winslow. So it was a real surreal moment. I was just watching these guys playing in the, national championship game against Ohio State. And now I'm actually teammates with a lot of these fellas. Antro Roll, Kelly Jennings, just to keep going on and on. And the class that I came in with was also big class. Greg Olson, John Beeson, Brian Patter, uh, Glenn Cook, Donald Jenkins actually came in with us. Devin Hester came in with us, even though they were supposed to come in the year before. So just seeing those names, knowing those names because I follow football, it was like, man, I'm actually a part of this crew. Big fan of Miami growing up. So being able to even put that helmet on and being in practice and working out with these guys, it was a big thing. Definitely a big thing.
All right. So you mentioned the Rams and uh, the other Palm Beach team.
Roll
Which
Palm.
one did you get to Miami? Which team were you at last when you went over to Miami?
I was at Royal Palm Beach High.
Royal
So I
Palm
started,
Beach. Oh,
start,
the
started my first,
Wildcats.
yeah. So started my first 2 years at Palm Beach Lakes High School,
Right.
and then I transferred actually because my brother was playing with me at Palm Beach Lakes. He ended up going to BYU on a football scholarship, and once he left, I transferred to Royal Palm.
Okay. Okay. So you're at Royal Palm. At what time did Miami start? Recruiting you. Was it freshman year, sophomore year, senior
It wa-
year? What is it?
it was actually my sophomore year when I was still at Palm Beach Lakes. I went to a camp called Down and Dirty. I don't know if they still have that camp now, but that was the camp for the big boys, and we used to do it. I think it was in Lakeland, Florida, where they had the camp. It was a full padded camp, and you were, seeing who can get down and dirty, And I remember Coach Greg Mark was there, Coach Kehoe was there, and they both, spotted me and like what they saw, and they were telling me like, man, we would love to start recruiting you, what have you, what have you. I told them, I said, I'm only a sophomore, and they thought I was a junior at the time, So it actually started back then, um, and going into my junior year when I transferred to Royal Palm. Once I completed that junior year, I actually committed to Miami on an unofficial visit in my junior year. Because that was ultimately the place I wanted to play. From every other team in the country, I just knew Miami was the spot I wanted to be.
Okay. Okay. So throughout the years, Miami had a lot of coaches change and everything like that. So you came in '03 and
Yeah,
you left in 2006.
yeah.
Were were you under Larry Coker the whole time, or were you under the change with Randy?
No, I was under Larry Coker. Coker was our head coach. Randy Shannon, he was actually our defensive coordinator at the time um, when I left.
Okay, so going back to Greentree now, practice. Now we heard a lot of stories about practice, how hard it was. Practice was actually harder than the games. What was
Oh
your
yeah,
experience on Greentree?
man. Hey, every day it was action. Being able to, especially those Tuesday practices. Tuesday practice, you get an opportunity to go ones versus ones, twos versus twos, threes versus threes, and you get after it. There's times when I'm one play I'm lining up against Vernon Carey, the next minute I'm lining up against um, Eric Winston and Chris Myers, and I'm just like, dang, like you got to bring your A game every single play, and it was the level of tenacity you had to play with, and just knowing that everybody who was on the field, whether you were a starter or a backup had the talent to play on that level. And um, you just got to show what would separate you from the next guy every single day. There was no days off. You literally had to make sure that you were on your P's and Q's, dotting your I's, crossing your T's every single day, and the energy was up. The coaching staff made sure that that was the case, and the players 100% already felt that. It was something that you wanted to make sure that our competition level in practice superseded anything that we would even face in a game, no matter who we played.
All right, so very touchy subject, but R.I.P. to Sean Taylor. What
Yeah.
was that like? Because you was actually on the team with him. What was his energy like? What was it like being around him?
Oh man. Um, I always tell people, who either play with me or who didn't play with me, people that I speak to all the time. When I talk about the most athletic, most talented player I've ever seen, Sean Taylor always comes to mind. Um, and not only the fact that at one point I remember, I'll never forget this. At one point, that man was 6'3", he was 237 pounds and ran a 4.3. And I never seen anything like that before. The way he moved, the way he just knew plays, the way he studied the game, the level of expectations he had for himself and the team. Like no matter who you were, you when you saw him walk on the field, it was like tighten up, make sure you're ready to go, because that man's gonna give his 100%. He's gonna expect you to do nothing more than 100% as well, and just the energy he played with. Um, I honestly believe that if he was obviously still, with us, he would have went down as the best safety that ever played a game. Um, so being on the field with him and just watching him, I remember the battles between him and Kellen Winslow the second, and I mean, it was just amazing, you know, to see how talented somebody like Kellen Winslow, was on the field going up against, Sean Taylor. It was, I mean, it was. When I say it was box office, it was box office, man. Like that's it, man.
What was the atmosphere like in that locker room?
I mean, a lot of us we joked around. You know, we were family. We had our moments where we would, get into it. There's moments where we literally would have, little issues out on the field, but we'd make sure that we take it to the middle of the U. That was one of the traditions, we take it to the middle of the U. We kind of wrestle or, do whatever you had to do to kind of, get that win for the day, and um, it was just like I said, it was a brotherhood that it's really hard to explain. But one thing I could always go back to is just seeing all the players who came before us, the Ed Reeds, the Reggie Waynes, the Andre Johnsons come back and they're there in summer workouts working out with us in the gym working out with us. So when you come in the locker room, you see those same guys always around. It always just made sure that you realize, what kind of tradition this was, and the brotherhood is second to none. So like I said, we would joke, we'd have fun, we get serious at times, but we always loved one another, and everybody was there for that one common goal, which was to win and be the best team out there every time we went on the field.
All right, so you was around for the Orange Bowl days, the good old days.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
what's your best memory at the Orange Bowl?
The best memory, actually, I redshirted my freshman year. We played the University of Florida. That was the year when Devin Hester returned the kickoff, first play of the game. Um, you know, we were down for majority of the parts of the game, and we ended up fighting back. Shout out to Kevin Beard, Frank Gore, a lot of those guys. Just the atmosphere with the fans. Never was a dull moment in that game. Obviously, it was a rivalry, and just to see us down and to be able to bounce back and end up winning that game in the fashion that we did at home with the crowd just going crazy and the fans, because there's nothing like the Orange Bowl. The way all the fans kind of sat over on top of you, it gave that intimidation factor to the the opposite team, and it gave us all the momentum and the drive to keep going out and grinding. And like I said, when that game took place, and just to see the back and forth between the two teams, and then at the end of the day we were able to pull it off, and the atmosphere, second to none.
Okay, so of course, every guest that I have on here, I have to ask them. While you was at what was your record against Florida State?
When I was at we never lost to Florida State. So the 3 years I was there, we actually beat them 4 times. And I know Tavares Gooden always used to talk about it. He would call it the Grand Slam. So we were 4-0 at the time. At the time when I left, we never lost to them. So
Yeah,
I don't
so
know. Yeah,
so for the handful of Florida State fans that like to hang around the channel that's listening right now,
yeah,
four wins in 3 years. That's phenomenal.
yeah. Because one of the years we played them in season, and we ended up playing them in the Orange Bowl, and beat them both times. So it was we were 4-0 at the time when I was there. Um, Always a great atmosphere, always a great experience playing them guys, but at the end of the day, they know what it is.
All right, so you mentioned the great Devin Hester.
Hmm.
Now, recently we seen some, interviews where he spoke with Shannon Sharp, spoke with a couple other guys, shout out to Street of Footballville. He said some things, dealing with Randy Shannon. What was your experience with Randy Shannon?
Um, Brandon Shannon he's a straightforward guy. He's not gonna sugarcoat much. He told you what it was, and he wasn't afraid to stand by what he believed in. And obviously the same thing that goes with a lot of the other players on the team. He had a level of expectations for us to go out there and dominate. Um, you know, Even with my personal experiences with him, I mean, he always wanted the best out of me, and literally, sometimes he would see more in you than you even saw in yourself at times. Because when you thought you were playing at an A level, he's telling you now you can play at even higher level than that. So you definitely wanted to make sure that he, got the best out of you. Um, but if he believes in something, he's gonna stick to it. And there's times where we butted heads with him. I butted heads with him. I remember even with us, there was certain things like that where you butted heads with him because, like I said, when he had that level of conviction as far as what he believed in and what he thought you should be and what you should do, if it was anything outside of that, there was gonna be a problem. So, um, you know, at the end of the day, all in all, I think every bit of what he was trying to convey to the players at all times is, that I can get you to the next level, and you got to believe that I can get you to the next level, and we're gonna push and push and push until you get to what I believe you can get to, at the end of the day. So that's at the end of the day, it's nothing more that you can ask for from a coach, that's gonna push you to the limits.
Okay, so we heard a lot of Greentree experiences from former players, man. Who were some of the guys you went up against in practice?
Um, like I mentioned earlier, Vernon Carey. Um, he was one of the ones I enjoyed because not Vernon Carey was not only um, big, massive man. He was very strong, and he had a level of calmness about him, you know, when he played. So you couldn't really get underneath the skin. And when he did turn it up on you, I remember specifically one time where he took one hand and was able to I mean, when I say he hit me on my shoulder and I flew, that never happened before in my life. And that's when I realized I was like, oh, it ain't just weight room strength. And just to see, obviously the man went first round to the Dolphins, and shout out to Vernon Carey. And I went against, Eric Winston, Rashad Butler, who's also from Palm Beach. Shout out to Rashad. He came out of Dwyer High School. what a technician. I mean, he had them long arms. Rashad used to have them very, very long arms, and literally every time you came off that ball, them hands are on you, just like that, So, like I said, every day, whether it was Wolfschlager, Chris Myers, Tony Teller, um, Andrew Bain, there was so many guys I could name of that literally on a consistent basis, you had to make sure you was ready, or you're gonna get embarrassed real quick, So those are the best days of my life, honestly, going against those guys and just knowing that, like they always say, iron sharpens iron, So when you got that opportunity to play against some boys and you know, go toe to toe, you got to make sure you handle your business.
All right, so every team has that one guy that's considered the clown of the clown, the class clown. Who was that guy in the locker room?
We had a few though, I would say. I would like to say Darnell Jenkins was one of them for sure. He was hilarious. That man always was making the joke. Brian Patter, rest in peace to Brian. He was also a jokester as well. Always made people laugh and smile. Um, Terrell Wallen, he was always funny as well. Um, Kareem Brown. Kareem Brown was another one. I just shout out to Kareem. He's another one that joked a lot. Javon Natton, he's another one. So we had a few. We had a few people that we for sure would say uh, could hold that title. As like if they was in a classroom, they'd be the classroom clowns. Like and be able to get everybody's spirits off of. If they were even frustrated about something, they can make you laugh and get you to smile and all that. So it was always, like I said, it was always good vibes.
By any chance, were you on the same team with Willie?
Willie Williams, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
What was your experience with him? Because I've heard former players, spoke highly of him. So, what was your
Willie
experience with him?
Willie's my guy. Like Willie was also another one, very funny, um, ultra talented, ultra talented. I mean, again, seeing a guy run 4.3 at that kind of size, similar to like Sean Taylor, like he Willie had to be about 6'3" and around 230, and he's running around that same time, same type of speed, you know, gifted in every way, and even better teammate. He's even a better teammate. You go out with him if we were going out to the club or if we went out to like one of the little parties that we had on campus and stuff. It was just always good vibes. So everything about Willie for me was always good vibes. Um, like I said, he would put a smile on your face. He held you down as a teammate and as a brother and as a friend. Um, you know, I personally believe that he's one of the better linebackers that I've ever seen as well. And I honestly wish that I was watching him right now playing in the league right now. To be quite honest with you.
All right. So, as you see now, Myra Cristobal come in, the program starting to put, money into the developing the facilities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
What was your experience with the facilities that we have? Did it make a difference?
I think so. I think 100% because we got to remember our day today. A lot of the kids that are being recruited and coveted across the nation. A lot of them haven't seen certain things in their lives. A lot of them haven't even left their city. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, anytime you can actually provide what you would call like a new experience for them, where some of them, like I said, like say when I played at Palm Beach Lakes High School, I remember the locker room there was like it was not much in there. You did what we had to do, but when you go on a visit and you get to see a locker room that's like state of the art, or a stadium that is state of the art, or an indoor facility that's state of the art, a campus that looks amazing, those things matter, especially to the kids nowadays. So that's a whole part of recruiting, and I think that the the focus on kind of rebuilding what we had at Miami and putting in, the indoor facility was a big thing because if I'm not mistaken, I want to say we were the only team in the ACC that did not have an indoor facility until we actually have one now, and that's a big deal, So when a lot of the former players, we come back and we see it, we're just like, whoa, like this is new because every time it was always practicing outside in the Greentree. If it was raining, we were still outside practicing. None of that changed. So now you have the ability to say, hey, if it's raining, it's lightning outside, we can go right in the indoor, get our work, our practice in, and keep going. And you just want to be able to say that what we have at our university, it matches up with all the best across the nation. So now that you're able to put that money behind us and get these facilities, get this stadium, you know get the weight room to look the way it looks, to have a whole new football facility that's supposed to be in the works. That changes the game for Miami all in all. Now teams like, let's say like University of Florida or the Alabamas and LSU's can't sit there and say, hey, look, Miami doesn't have this, Miami doesn't have that. No, Miami's got it. And Miami's gonna have even more. So now there's no reason for us not to, you know, kill it in recruiting all in all.
All right, so we see the facility updates. Of course, there it's going to be a 5-story building now. From a player that's actually been in, some of the locker rooms or whatever, not much at Miami, as we all know. They're starting to actually catch up with the rest of the world now. What would you, from your personal standpoint, what would something that you would want to be in that facility as a player?
Um, I mean, from the time when I went down there, because I was down there recently for the Mario Cristobal football camp that they had, and I would say the stuff that they have is what's gonna set you apart. Like I said before, with the indoor facility being the way it is, the one of the things I love as far as even on the recruiting side, when you go in there, you can actually see all the players that have made it, to the NFL, have been drafted, all the draftable players in this hallway. And I mean, the lights, they just start flickering and all that. So when the recruits see that, they're like, man, that could be my name up on there. So it's like, I think that Miami has everything that they need um, in a facility. And it's only, like I said, it's only going to get better now that they're able to, pour more money into it and enhance the things that they could put in there. Uh, and obviously, you want to make sure that at the end of the day, your weight room, exemplifies, a championship style weight room. You want to make sure that you have all the necessary weights and equipment that's going to give your guys the edge when you're out on the field. Obviously outside of the, on the actual practice field, everybody's got grass, everybody's got turf, so you can make whatever happen with that. But when you're inside of the facility, like the weight room's got to be, state of the art, and you know every bit of the money that they're putting into it, um, I think it's going to be up there with anybody who you even think about. Miami's doing all the right things, and I'm grateful that we actually have Coach Cristobal back in house. It's been a long time overdue for sure.
Have you had a personal conversation with Cristobal? And if so, what's your thoughts on him? What's the vibes?
Um, when I went to that camp, like I said, it was a lineman camp for the Miami Hurricanes during the summertime, and as soon as we saw each other, I gave him a big hug, and it was like seeing a family member that you haven't seen in such a long time. I mean, it was one of them long hugs. Man, it was like one of those, I miss you, I'm happy to see you back, and we just kind of shared the same sentiment, like this is home. Glad to see you here. Coach Chris Ball was telling me that you can come by anytime. This is your home and whatnot, and I just expressed to him how much I'm just glad to see him here, because all the former players already know that Cristobal uh, has has been proven a long time ago that he can be the one that can take us over the hump and bring us, bring us a championship or get us in the direction to be able to compete for championships year in and year out. And to now have him here, each one of us, I feel like, grateful that, they finally made that decision and got him back here. So it's always love with him, and just the passion and the desire that he has to see Miami back on top. Is second to none. I don't think anybody else in the nation wants it as bad as he would. To see Miami back on top.
All right, so you're sitting down in your living room or whatever, well, or in the office, it don't matter, and a recruit is sitting right across from you, and he's asking you about the University of Miami. What would you tell this kid?
Um, First and foremost, I would tell him it's a brotherhood. You know, like I said before, when you see certain guys, it's one thing when oh, okay, there's a player who came here, graduated, got drafted, made millions of dollars, and has their own life, and they're doing their own thing. And you could just say, hey, that guy came here, But it's another thing when you see that same individual coming back, showing love, coming in to mentor these guys that are currently on the team, dropping any type of knowledge and gems, each time when they get an opportunity to be here. It's like the love is here. They wanna come back and to pour into the university and pour into the coaching staff and come back, and even I'm talking about even like academic advisors. They want to come back and talk to the academic advisor. The brotherhood here, I feel like is on a whole nother level that no one else can ever touch. And that would be the first thing I would explain to them. The second thing I would explain to them is the tradition. You know, the type of players who came here, and they didn't have a lot of the players. They didn't have what the current players have now, as far as the facilities, the social media that could actually enhance a player. It was always about getting it in the mud, grinding, working harder than the next man, and you know always having this visual that there's no time to sleep. Like you need to make sure that you are putting in more work than the next man who may be in another another team or another conference or whatever. Um, just the level of tradition here is again on another level. Um, the city of Miami alone, there's so many things that comes with being in South Florida. The weather is one, obviously, but just the city of Miami alone is a place that you want to experience, and I think that most players, especially the ones in South Florida, they kind of already have an idea of that. Um, but like I said, bottom line is the tradition, the brotherhood, uh, the ones that have come before us, being able to put that U on your on that the U helmet on, and literally uh, go out there and uphold the tradition that was there before you. I think if you're a competitor and you're somebody who truly believes that the ultimate goal is to get to the NFL and also to go down in history as one of the best, this is where you're gonna breed that type of athlete, that type of player. Coming here to the U and putting your head down and just grind and grind and grind and grind, soak up as much as you can. Like I said, there's so many different players who are in and out of this facility on a day-to-day basis. Brian Moreau, who played with me as well. Like, there's so many guys that you could literally, just turn your head and you see, oh man, this guy was playing here back in 2000, 2001, 2002. Like, let me go and talk to him. The ability to just be able to talk to a former player and have that accessibility. I mean, that to me is priceless. So any recruit that's actually listening, those are the things that you get when you get a chance to play at the University of Miami or decide to come to University of Miami. There's no other place like it. There's none.
All right, so the atmosphere, man. You came in 2003, of course. So Miami won a national championship 2001, played for the championship in 2002, got robbed. We know the
Right.
story.
Right.
So coming in 2003, what was the atmosphere like? What was the city like? How did they treat you?
Oh man. I mean, first of all, the atmosphere it was a hunger. Obviously coming off of that robbery that happened, against Ohio State, it was a hunger that we're not gonna let this happen again. We gotta make sure that we turn it up to another level and not even make that a game that competitive to even you know have the same thing happen again. But as far as how they treated us in the city, coming from like going to like when I was in high school, I didn't go out, I didn't do anything. My head was in the books and on the field. Those are the two things in my life all day, every day. So when I was able to come out and enjoy the nightlife or just go to even any kind of like comedy show or anything like that, anything you did in the city, the people in the city showed love. If they knew you were a University of Miami player, they showed love. You know, literally on some like celebrity status. They took care of us. Whether it was just embracing us or getting us into the club sooner. You name it. It was just the love that you receive as a whole from the city. I never experienced that. And to have that as a college kid, 18, 19 years old, you're just like, wow, you're going into some of the same spots with the likes of like Jamie Foxx. I remember one time Jamie Foxx was in the same spot with me, Carmelo Anthony, because at that time Carmelo was still on the Denver Nuggets, so it was Carmelo, Allen Iverson, Marcus Camby, all of us in the same section, and it was just mind blowing to me. Like these are guys I'm watching on TV playing in NBA games and in the playoffs, and now they're here with us in the same spot, and we're getting the same love. So uh, as I said before, when you're at the U and you know you doing what you got to do, the city's gonna show love all day, every day, no matter where you go, and that's something that you can never take for granted, and it's something that you could always hold on to for years and years and years, to come.
All right, so we heard stories over the year that there's the Miami Hurricanes and then there's the Miami Dolphins. I was hearing that the players actually on the team was getting more love in the city than the Dolphins. Was that your experience?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you a lot. There was times when we were on South Beach, and again, they were putting us inside of the club and leaving the Dolphin players outside, like waiting for us to get settled in before they even touched on the Dolphin player. And like I said, I was in awe. I was like, well, damn, you know, they literally showed more love to the Hurricane players, all in all, no matter who you were, over the guys who were already in the league doing it, and that just goes back to the type of love that you get for playing, putting on that helmet, wearing that orange and green, and the fact that obviously around that time, the Hurricanes were, we were a team that was on top, and um, was regarded as one of those top teams every year, and the city knew that. The city wanted to embrace you and take care of you, and can't really speak on how good the Dolphins were at that time because the Dolphins are always. I'm a Dolphin fan. I grew up a Dolphin fan, so still a Dolphin fan to this day. But at that time, Dolphins were mediocre, type team, always hovering by the playoffs, but not really making it. But it definitely showed by the love that we received in the city.
Oh man, so there's talks right now. There's renderings of bringing a stadium to Miami, their own personal stadium again. As a player that actually had the Orange Bowl, and unfortunately they knocked it down or whatever. How important do you think it would be for us to get a stadium, or are you okay with Hard Rock?
I think it's vital to the success of the team. I think it's vital. to the culture that you want to bring. Um, when Orange Bowl was there, it brought a level of excitement to the city. It brought a level of, you know, ownership. When you know that it's yours, like obviously with Hard Rock, it's a beautiful stadium. They put a lot of money into it. They've done so many different renovations to it and all that. So it looks great. It's Super Bowl ready every year. However, it doesn't give you that actual feel like, man, you are at the hurricane spot. It's almost like a central location almost. You know how they play those little neutral games and when they start the college seasons where they got somebody playing like in Jacksonville, like I think it's like say like for the Gators in Georgia, they play in Jacksonville or something. It's like it feels like a neutral stadium at times. And I feel like when you have your own stadium, one that you can call Hurricane, like this is the Hurricane Stadium, and it's actually closer to the school, one that's going to bring more student body to the school, which is what many other universities have the ability to do, because most of the other universities out there, they have their stadiums in the same location as the student body. So to be able to have you know the students be able to come to the game rather than catching a bus or getting transported 20-25 minutes out of the way, they're literally in walking distance. That's already going to make sure that the stadium's always filled, um, and just the level of ownership, like I said earlier, of the players knowing that this is theirs. This is their baby. So you're going to hold on tight to it. It's going to make you feel like, you know, I don't want to ever have I don't ever want to take an L in here. Same thing with what we did in the Orange Bowl. You know, taking a loss at home was like unacceptable. We didn't want to lose at home at all. We didn't want to lose no games, but definitely not at home. And obviously for the records that Miami's had in the past, as far as consistently winning at home, the streaks and stuff, you know, they held on to that. They wanted to make sure that opportunity was there for them to prove that that home court advantage is real. So to have a stadium here, I would love to see it, and I would love for it to actually take place. And you know, I hope that every one of the former players, everybody whose hands can be in it, put your hands in it and let's make it happen, because I think it's necessary.
All right. So in today's day in football, you see a lot going on with the NIL deals and stuff like that. What was it like for you guys, and what would you guys have done with this opportunity that they have now?
Oh my God. Hey, we have these conversations all the time. Like just to see that players are getting paid for their name, image, and likeness now, I can only imagine, how we would have done at that time. Guys like you brought up before, like, the Sean Taylors and I mean Vince Wilfork and Vilma and all these guys who were big, big names all throughout college football. The kind of money that could have been made if the NIL situation was here, that's here was back then. Like the opportunities would have been endless. But I also feel like, the fact that social media wasn't big during that time either also plays a part. I feel like everything that's going on now is just trending on the up and up. And everybody who would have had an opportunity to actually engage in the NIL deals would have encouraged it and jumped on it as much as possible. There's just it's no way that you know this would have been around then, and the numbers that you see now, I'm sure it would have probably been even greater for some of the guys that were out then. Like I said, you just think about some of those names that were there before. You know, I feel like we missed out. And a matter of fact, I told my wife last night. I said, man, sometimes I wish I was coming out of high school right now, just so I could be a part of this whole NIL, time.
All right. So that locker room, man, a lot of competition, a lot of great talent. You know, in that weight room, man, who was the guy that was like always trying to max out everybody else, trying to up everybody else?
You know, DJ Williams was one of those guys that. I mean, power cleaning, squats, all that. I mean, a beast in the weight room. Um, Vince Wilfork was a beast, bench press. Vernon Carey was another beast in the bench press. I was one of the top guys with the bench press. Eric Monker was a top guy with a bench press. Um, Power cleans, Brian Patta. I mean, you name it. There was a lot of guys who literally, like I said, the same competition you had out on the field, you were having in the weight room. So all of us is trying to go for the head. And the thing about it, we had on in the wall inside of University of Miami, it listed like top bench press guys for their position, um, top 40 guy, like who had the fastest 40 for their position, and you wanted to get on that list, you know. So that was a big thing, and there were so many guys. I remember even seeing. I was blown away seeing like even Kelly Jennings. Because Kelly Jennings was you know, I would say maybe about maybe 175, you know. But to see him power clean over 300 pounds, I was like, man, that's impressive. And just the perfect technique and going at it. But everybody grinded. Shout out to Coach Swayze. He made sure he was on top of us. Coach Vic was on top of us just to keep maximizing the potential inside of the weight room, because it was only going to transition and translate into success out on the field. So like I said, guys like DJ Williams was monsters in there. Um, I'm trying to think of another guy who Antro Roll. He was another one. Um, shoot, trying to think. Hmm. I'm trying to think of like maybe for as far as receivers. I know Ryan Moore was there. I'm not sure outside of him, and it was Roscoe too. But see, those guys, most of those guys were like killing it outside on the field. But when it came down to being like a monster in the weight room, it was guys like BJ Williams and
All right, so you mentioned fast guys, the 40 times and stuff. Who was considered the fastest guy on the team? Because I know you play with guys like Devin Hester, Lance Leggett, and those guys. Who was
yeah.
the fastest guy on the team?
Um, that's a toss up, honestly. I mean, but I can tell you a bunch of 4-2 clubs and just line them up and try to see. Maybe we can kind of set something up for them to do it now and see who can win now. But I mean, as far as like Terrell Walden and Devin Hester, Roscoe Parrish, Marcus Maxey, I remember he ran a 4.25. Drell Weaver was another one, that linebacker running a 4.2. Um, Sonoris Moss was another one. Um, Darnell Jenkins. You name it. All them boys can move. Lance Leggett moving, and I'm talking about like galloping, because Lance was very long and athletic, and he was just moving like So he's picking up ground. You name them, a lot of those guys were all in the 4.2, 4.3 range. But like I said, um, competition is going to bring the best out of everybody. And if I was to, if I was going to say I was going to put my money on one guy, see on the track, I would say Terrell Walden on the track, because he was obviously a Big East champion in 100 meter, and T-Buck moves. Um, on the field, I just can't go against Devin. I can't. I don't know if I put my money on anybody else outside of Devin. On the fields in a race, I don't know. I think I'd have to go with Devin.
Okay, so let's bring the people up to date now. What is it that you're doing for yourself? And you know, you got the music. I played the music in the beginning for those of you guys that tuned in from the beginning. I played the music. That's his song. That's his video. That's his channel. Make sure you guys go over there, subscribe, and show some love. So, what is it that you're doing at this moment now?
I'm actually continuing to put out music videos. I'm building my channel up right now, so I'm putting more content every day. Just trying to make sure that I can tap into the fan base and all that. I've dropped my last album. It was called Versa. I dropped that on my birthday last year at the end of the year. So you type in Lamar Versa Versa. That's my 15 track album. I actually did a song with Damari Jones, who's also a former Kane, um, who goes by the artist name of Super. He's on that album. Um, I made two songs specifically for the University of Miami, the New Miami and the New Miami remix. Plan on having something in store pretty soon for this year to show my love and appreciation for this team and you know for the teams to come. And like I said, I just dropped a music video called "Fill Your Cup" that's on my YouTube channel, which is official Lamar page. My Instagram is also at official Lamar page. Website is lamarmusic.live. Um, I plan on putting out another either EP or a little mixtape towards the end of the year. That's gonna be a little mixture of like a R&B and some hip hop vibes and the island vibes too, because I am Jamaican. So just putting all that in and continue to push, until everybody's, you know, putting Lamar on their radios. So um, that's the plan. That's where I'm at right now with it. I definitely um, on my day job, like what I do on the regular, is actually a police officer, which is how we ended up linking up um, here in Palm Beach County. So um, that's what gets all the bills paid, and the music is what's elevating as we speak every single day. Just trying to put out good content for the people. That's what I'm on, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
All right, so you mentioned brotherhood. Like, who are some of the players that you keep in contact with still till today?
Um, I speak with Eric Monker. We talk. Terrell Walden's another one I talk to. He's actually in Palm Beach County as well, so we kind of keep a good connection with Walschlager, Anthony Walschlager. He's actually an officer in Palm Beach County as well. So I was able to tap in with him as well. Um, the thing I would really say is I connect with a lot of the guys through the social media aspect of it, because everybody's got their lives, and we're up there now, so um, it's hard to say, oh, let's go hang out and go this place or that place. But even guys like Brian Moreau, that's my brother. Any chance I get to talk to him, whether it's social media or send him a text just to check up on him, I do that. Rashawn Butler, Andrew Bain, who's a judge, in Florida now. So um, big shout out to all those guys. A lot of the guys who came in with me, I'm still connecting with, and as much as possible, I would love for us to continue to at least go and see each other in the former player dinners and things like that. And we normally get to connect with each other at the games. That's the best time for us to like link up and catch up and see how everybody's doing, how's their family, their kids, and things like that. So um, I think the list is kind of endless when it comes down to who I still connect with. Every last one of them boys, I love them all. So it's like, when I get a chance to see them, it's all love, and hopefully we get to link up more. Me and Damari Jones, we have talked a lot, obviously of late, since we made music together, and he actually was in that music video that you showed. The On Me, he was actually the lead the lead character in it. So we've been really cool, and just trying to connect with him and Tracy Howard and all those guys, which was after me. Those guys were after me, but like I said, it's a brotherhood. So everybody, once they know that you're Kane, you get and talk to them. It's always love. So
All right, so I got a quick comment here by Cedric. It says, C2Y, could you drop the link for us? All right, so once the video is over, I will put the link in the comment section, and I will also put it in the description so you guys could click on it, and it'll take you right to his YouTube channel, so you guys could subscribe, like, and show some support over there. All right,
no
so
problem.
I'm not sure if it's the athlete or it's the pilot, one of those shows. They always say to their guests, when you leave, could you invite somebody else to come on and do an interview? So I'm gonna ask you to do the same for me. Send somebody another Foreman Kane, and so we could have this sit down just like we are now.
Absolutely. You
Hey,
name you name the time. I'll make sure they come through.
all right, and definitely pop back up on the channel. During the season. Um, I'm gonna wrap it up with just one last question for you because we're going on an hour.
Okay.
What's your expectation of the season? What are you looking forward to seeing?
Um, I honestly, I don't want to sound like a homer. So at the end of the day, like I said, I am a former Kane. Um, I believe in Cristobal so much, and I believe in the staff that he put together, and I believe that the players that are there now they have bought in to everything that he has brought to the table. Um, I just want to see them continuing to improve each and every day. I know the expectations are high. It's not about making two good plays and make three bad ones. It's about being consistent. And I think that was one of the things that kind of, you know, uh, we lacked for quite some time, the consistency. And I believe that if they continue to follow the lead of Coach Cristobal and the staff, I don't see no reason why we can't one compete for the ACC championship and two put ourselves in a position to be in the playoffs. Talent for talent across the nation. I mean, there's only a handful of teams that I would say has the same kind of talent or around the same kind of talent as Miami at this very moment, and just the phenomenal recruiting job that the coaching staff has done. Um, I'm expecting them to make big noise this year, and hopefully we're talking about later on in January, a playoff berth.
All right. So I know I said that was the last one, but this is the absolute last one. What's your score? What's your score prediction for this game coming on this Saturday?
um, I would say, I mean, because I don't think Bethune is a bad team, but I do believe in what we have. Um, I'm gonna go off and say
Seven, seven,
62 to 10.
I thought you were gonna say 700 to zero.
Nah, I'm gonna say 62 to 10. I'm gonna say
62.
62-10.
All right, man. Appreciate you for
Yeah,
coming on. Taking your time out to talk to me and the fans. Appreciate
absolutely.
appreciate it, man. Love it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. I've been supporting the channel, supporting the vibes that you've been always putting out there, and like I said, it was just to me, it was like it was divine timing to even run into you the other day, to be able to have this whole thing to be set up. So keep doing what you're doing. I know the fan base loves you. We always listen to you for what's going on with the Hurricanes. You keep everybody posted and keep everybody in the loop. Um, and me, even as a former Hurricane, I still go to your channel to hear what's going on because I feel like you got your eyes to the streets and your ears to the streets. So, man, like I said, it's a blessing to be on here, and I thank you, for the opportunity as well, and keep on doing right by the Canes. That's it.
All right, boss. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you, man. And I'll keep in touch.
All right, cool. Y'all take care. Have a good one.
All right. Hit them with the like, share, subscribe, man.
Yes, you gotta like, share, subscribe, T2 Hammer Gang. Y'all make sure y'all do that, and also make sure y'all tap in. Official Lamar page is my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe. All the love and support on this journey with this music. I do it for y'all. So,
All right, boss. Thank you for your time.
all right, take care.
All right. Thank you to everybody for showing up. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you to Devin for coming on. I'm sorry, I messed that up. Thank you for Dave for coming on. Great interview, great guy. Make sure you guys go on over to his YouTube channel. Like I said, official Lamar page. I will put it in the comment section once the video goes live because right now it's still live. Once it goes into once we get off live, I'll put it in the comment section and description so you guys could, find his channel. Make sure you guys go show some love, support, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and all that good stuff. With that being said, go Canes, go Canes, go Canes. 700 to 0. 700 to 0. Bethune-Cookman, y'all ain't ready. All right, y'all. Take it easy. Good night, Canes.